This broadcast is streamed and produced by Midnight Sports. It is not affiliated with any hockey organization, club, or team. Midnight Sports is comprised of hockey parents who stream games for friends and family who cannot attend the games in person. Today's broadcast features D-Biz on production and camera and CDS on commentary. We hope you enjoy it.
Well, welcome on in, hockey fans. It's a doubleheader here this afternoon on Midnight Sports. We've got the New York Stars taking on the Genesis Hockey Club for Game 2 in this EJEPL matchup. Maybe a G, who knows? Should stand for great after this morning's game. If you didn't see this morning's game, you need to stop right now, go back and rewind the YouTube stream from 9:55 this morning down in Colmar, PA, because you missed an absolute barn burner. Stars won Game 1, 7-6. And the Genesis Hockey Club out for revenge here in what could have playoff implications in the EJEPL Futures 1 division. We're here in Colmar, PA, our kingdom for a center ice vantage point. We finally got it. No kingdom left, but certainly something at center ice. And so we should have a better vantage point here this afternoon for you. 1:04 left to go in warm-ups here from PA. We're going to give you an extended look in on those warm-ups, and you can enjoy some royalty-free music while we do right here on Midnight Sports. Well, the buzzer's gone here at Hatfield Ice, and the Stars getting set. Looks like it'll be Ryan Speaker taking over the blue paint from Diatelli here in the afternoon game. Diatelli put in a fantastic performance this morning, and making crucial save after crucial save, living up to the Big Save J nickname. So it'll be Speaker taking over the net here in Game 2 of this EJEPL doubleheader. Goalies being checked, creases being carved up. Both goalies ready to roll. Scorekeeper ready to go. 25 minutes on the clock, and the puck's dropped. Won by Nicolaitis. Back toward Viscoso, up to Coronati, who finds Bizarro streaking the offensive zone. Puck tipped farther now. Nicolaitis gives chase in the near corner. Offensive zone. Genesis takes over there. Looks like they're going to break out from behind their net. Genesis on the forehand, works that up into the neutral zone, hits a skate. Icing's going to be waved here as Coronati gets in the way of his man. He's able to touch that puck farther, and now Viscoso gives chase. Puck comes up to the near half wall. Genesis curling with it in the slot, but it's Pizarro there first, who's able to tap it out of the zone, go in on the forecheck. Just 30 seconds into this game, and the Stars can make their first line change. At least so far as the forwards. McCarthy takes over in the offensive zone. It's kicked over to Pizarro, stayed out on the ice. He shoots in. Puck spilled low, and it's cleared out from the slot. Genesis is going to take over there, but only so far as Image, who gets tripped up. No arm raised, and we play on. Image able to tap that over toward Fisher. Fisher on the puck. He's got a 2-on-1 with Image. He shoots, and it's gloved out of the air there by the Genesis netminder. And so we get our first stoppage in play with 58 seconds gone in the first half. It's an offensive zone draw upcoming here for the Stars, who can get their lines right now that the puck's been frozen. It'll be Schaefer and Gorloff coming on as the defenders. Fisher, Simic, and McCarthy as the forwards. Stars moving left to right on your television screen in their road navy blues. They win that faceoff. It comes up to the point, kicked farther in the offensive zone. But now it'll be a break here for Genesis, streaking toward the net. It's going to go all the way across the end line, though, for an icing. So another offensive zone draw upcoming here for the Stars. 23:53 to go in the first half. Choppy start now as the puck's been iced. Same 5 skaters will stay out there. Simic over the dot. Wins that back between his defenders. Schaefer throws it on in. Deflection sends that puck just wide of the cage. Tapped out of the zone by Genesis. Gorloff able to get his stick in the way and work that back toward Schaefer at his own blue line. Schaefer for Gorloff. Gorloff on the puck now. Works it up to McCarthy. Saucer pass breakout seems to be working as Fisher comes into the zone. No offside there as the puck rolls a little bit on Fisher. Taps toward the slot. Genesis able to clear the danger to the near half wall. Puck's going to come all the way into the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-2 as Genesis dumps in. Schaefer will turn, try and touch the puck. He's able to body his man out of the play. Gorloff back for support. Schaefer doesn't need it just yet. He's going to skate this out of the zone and allow his forwards to go for a change. Gets that puck deep as the coaches were calling for it. Stars are going to be able to make a 3-forward change here as Fauci on the ice for the first time here this afternoon. Genesis touches that farther. It should go for an icing. That breakout play worked well for Genesis early this morning. And right now, it's gone for an icing twice. 23:02 left to go here in the first half. Genesis does send the puck out of their defensive zone to a streaking forward each time they get it. Keep an eye on that forward. As soon as Genesis gets possession in their own zone, there's one forward up the weak wing who's going to go for it each time. Touched farther there by Genesis. It'll be Viscoso turning and taking the puck off his man. He bodies him there, and Farrell will track back at the end boards, tap that puck all the way around for Conforti. Just out of his reach, Genesis throws one in on net. It hits a stick, though, never reaches the net, and now it's Conforti with Fauci. He's got a man back checking him. He's able to dump that puck in. Strong on his stick there, Andrew Conforti. It's Fauci now in on the forecheck. Russo out as well. At the near half wall, Farrow in for support. Puck gets caught in Russo skates. He does well to jam up any zone exit there for Genesis. They'll have to turn the other way, reverse around toward the weak side. It's now Conforti in, and it's reversed back by Genesis. Russo now able to force a pass that comes up to Farrow, and he sends that to some open ice on the far side of the rink. It's Conforti working that puck just a bit deeper. Russo trying to control that bouncing puck. It evades a bunch of sticks, though, and now Genesis tries to break out, but they only make it so far as Viscoso, who finds Fauci. He's able to dump in. 22:05 left to go as the Stars will get another line change out of this. Look for some quick line changes here in the second half of this doubleheader. By second half, I mean second game of it, as Pizarro feathers that down. Pass comes in. It's kicked aside by the Genesis netminder. Nicolaitis was waiting at the back post, but it rolls to Pizarro. He gets it caught in the skates a little bit. There's going to be a penalty upcoming here. Looks like it's going to be a hook, and we'll see who's going to the box just yet as Nicolaitis looks for his stick. We'll see who's taking that long skate over toward the scorer's booth. Looks like it'll be a Star here, and it'll be Nicolaitis, who got the stick just caught under the arm of a Genesis player. So early on in this one, 21:45 left to go in the first half. It's Nicolaitis to the box for hooking, and Schaefer, Schulman, Pizarro, and Coronati out to kill this penalty. Genesis wins that faceoff. It sits at the dot. It's worked forward and then to some open ice. Well done by Coronati as Schulman tries to fire that out of the zone. Genesis runs into its own skater there as Schaefer will try and jam it up in the near corner. Puck comes up to the near point. Genesis looks to load up there at the circle. Instead, sends it right back up to the point. They're finding some open ice here at the near circle and then sticked aside by Schaefer as the puck rolls toward the end boards, looking for that pass out front. Pizarro gets his stick in the way. And a slapper at the far point goes just wide. Puck's going to roll toward the side of the cage. And now it'll be Genesis trying to get the puck toward the net front. Instead, they fired all the way out of the zone. 1:22 left to go on the man advantage here as the Genesis goalie will move that puck all the way up the ice into the neutral zone. It's tapped farther, but Coronati in the way. He'll send that puck back toward the weak side, and then Genesis will dump right back in. Schaefer turns to pick up the puck. Comes over toward Coronati, who reverses it all the way to the weak side of the ice. Pizarro fires that around, and it does escape the zone. It's McCarthy out there cutting out that pass. He's got a mini break. McCarthy in, all alone on the goaltender. Goes backhand, and it's a goal. Oh, the captain scores on the backhand at 20:40 left to go here in the first half. It's a shorthanded goal for the Stars. The captain, Johnny McCarthy, Johnny Mac, puts it home on the backhand, and just like that, it's Stars 1, Genesis nothing. Well, still 56 seconds to go on the penalty to the Stars, and so it's still 5-on-4 hockey right now with 20:40 left to go in the first half. Genesis always had a good push in the first game after they had been scored upon, and so the Stars will have to pay attention to that here as they throw the puck right back out of their defensive zone, and Zimmage now in on the forecheck. It's Zimmage watching his man go all the way around the Genesis net and try and work that puck up and out. Instead, hits the linesman's skates, so Genesis will have to reset in their own defensive zone. It's Genesis now breaking out at the near circle. They're across their blue line, looking to the weak side of the ice to try and get that puck in. It should be an icing, but it's waved here, interestingly. That puck had not crossed center ice, but instead, we play on. It's Genesis at the far half wall looking to set up a shot. They're able to dangle it around one Stars man and then dump it in deep. Firing in is Gorloff now. 12 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Genesis, who look to throw something to the net front. Instead, it's Zimmage tapping that puck toward the blue line. Stick goes flying. We play on, though. That slap shot took the stick out of Zimmage's arm, but Speaker there for the save and a frozen puck. So with 19:42 left to go here in the first half, Speaker on the board with his first save. Defensive zone draw coming up for the Stars, and it's back to 5-on-5 hockey. It'll be Fauci, Polisi, Russo as the forwards. Fauci wins that faceoff back toward Viscoso, who turns, looks for Coronati, uses the glass to work it over toward him. Puck rolls all the way to Russo, gets handcuffed just a little bit at the far half wall. Coronati in for support. He's on the back end. He's going to rack that all the way around. Genesis first to it, so Viscoso in for support, picks it up, works it over toward Coronati, hits a skate on that breakout pass. Russo there to use the body to shepherd that puck out of the zone. Genesis will have to reset. They dump in, but in doing so, they hit the net. And so, no souvenirs for the crowd down in the stands. The net keeps that puck on the ice, but out of play. This is going to be a faceoff at center ice with 19:17 left to go here in the first half. It's Fauci winning that faceoff forward. Genesis controls, works it up through the neutral zone. Viscoso turns, picks up the puck at the near circle. Viscoso passes that behind his net using the boards. Genesis cuts out the return pass, though, and now has the puck at the end boards. They're going to come around the other way, are Genesis. They load up in the slot. Speaker gets a glove on it, but it goes in after it hits in the slot. He was able to get the glove up, but it took a deflection off the glove from that point-blank shot on Genesis, and just like that, it's a 1-1 hockey game. 19:01 left to go here in the first half. Stars 1, Genesis 1. And it'll be Nikolaitis at center ice. Genesis wins that faceoff. They work it up again through the neutral zone. Gorloff cuts out the zone entry, and he goes behind his own net now with the puck, trying to work that puck up toward Bizarro. Puck rolls on him. Genesis looks to dump in again. Rolling puck comes to the far circle. Genesis trying to load up there at the top of the circle. Instead, though, Gorloff in the way of that pass. Genesis just has to dump right back in. It'll be Gorloff picking up the puck behind his own net. Now he circles around the other way, reverses to himself on the backhand, works it up to the far point, but not out. Fairhour will turn to pick up the puck at the end board. Stars getting hemmed in a little bit here as Gorloff goes to the puck to try and work it out of the zone. 3 Genesis men in the way. Nikolaitis able to shepherd that up to Shulman. Shulman finds some open ice. It's Bizarro up the left wing, makes the Genesis D-man turn, and Bizarro will take that into the offensive zone and then dump in toward Shulman. Shulman fires a shot. Saved nicely there by the Genesis netminder, and onward we play here as the Stars try and cut out that zone exit. Instead, Genesis will come through the neutral zone. They'll dump on in, and Farrow will go behind the net to pick that puck up. He reverses over toward Gorloff. Gorloff has a little bit of time. He finds Schulman. Schulman taps it farther for Zimmage. Zimmage dances around one man. Back check takes the puck off his stick once he had gained the offensive zone. Genesis right back the other way as the Stars were completing their change. It's McCarthy getting in the way of that pass. Sticked farther to Zimmage. Zimmage on the puck. Goes all the way through the neutral zone. He stops, delays, waits for Fisher. Fisher shoots, kicked aside by the Genesis goaltender. And Genesis looks to come right back the other way. Instead, it's McCarthy sending it farther for Fisher. Fisher at the top of the circle. Can't quite get the puck out of his skates. Genesis throws it up to the point. Coronati now fires a long shot in. It's kicked way high in the air there by Genesis. And now to be Coronati at the dot, shooting one in. It sits in the slot. Stars look to get their stick on it before it leaves the zone. They do. Schaefer fires in off a skate. Schaefer turns to try and dump it in deeper, but it's sticked farther by Genesis and then just put right back in by Coronati. That's a tactical offside, certainly, by the Stars. And the faceoff's probably going to come all the way back down to the defensive zone, as it was an intentional offside, but to cut out a breakaway, still a smart play there by Coronati as he had nowhere to go with the puck. And so it's Zimmage, McCarthy, Fisher, as the forwards, Schaefer and Coronati out there as Zimmage takes that defensive faceoff, wins it toward Schaefer. Schaefer tries to turn with it. Genesis there, though, at the end boards. Try and work that out net front. Still Genesis now, working that puck at the circle, but Zimmage to it first, works it up toward Fisher. Fisher gains center ice, dumps on in, and now the Stars will give chase. Genesis on the puck in the near corner. They rack it around to the far corner. Coronati with his own keep, throws one in, takes a deflection, goes wide. It's McCarthy now, looking up to survey his options. McCarthy finds Zimmage. Zimmage tries to throw that to the near circle. Instead, Genesis there first, but it'll be McCarthy on the puck. He shoots. Oh, it's gloved up and over the cage there by the Genesis goaltender. Puck comes to the near half wall. Schaefer has the puck just roll off his stick. The Stars reset in the neutral zone and dump on in. The forwards will go for a change. Schaefer stays out. All four other skaters off toward the bench. Genesis sets up. They send that all the way down. Should go for an icing. It does with 16:10 left to go here in the first half. It is a 1-1 hockey game right now as the Stars making a push. Official shots 7-2 in the Stars' favor. Of course, Genesis had that grade A chance that they were able to pot on. And so it's going to be Nicolaitis, Schulman, Bizarro as the forwards, Farrow and Viscoso as the defenders. Puck won forward by the Stars, but without possession. Stars try and keep this puck in the zone. Instead, Genesis able to throw it to neutral ice and out. Nearly had a mini break there, but it was cut out nicely by the Stars. Bizarro taps that puck farther. Nicolaitis gives chase at the end wall, right in front of the Zamboni doors. The ice is a little bit depressed there. Not sad, just a little bit lower than the rest of the ice. Puck will now come up toward Nicolaitis. Nicolaitis, side of the goal, tries to pass it over to Bizarro, gets handcuffed on the pass. Can't pull the trigger, and now it's Genesis throwing that into their own bench, trying to get a break on Farrow, who got the stick in the way. And so with 15:42 left to go here in the first half, it's an offensive zone faceoff for the Stars. It'll be Nicolaitis at the far dot. Bizarro told to back off. He does, and now the players encroach again, unseen by the official. Puck one toward Schulman, who sends it back to Nicolaitis. Genesis comes away with it now as the puck's kept in the zone. It's Bizarro now on the puck, top of the circle, loads up on the forehand. He shoots right off the mask of the goaltender. Bouncing puck goes behind the cage eventually. Comes over to the weak side, and Genesis looks to break out. Puck rolls up to Farrow. Farrow has Viscoso over there with him. He's on the backhand. He'll send it over toward Viscoso. Viscoso turns onto the forehand, then reverses to himself. He's at the end boards, is Viscoso. Puck just comes off his stick, and Genesis goes to work now in the offensive zone. It's Nicolaitis firing in for support. Nicolaitis on the puck, works it up toward Schulman. Schulman throws that across the blue line, trying to get it up to Bizarro. Instead, though, the puck's going to come right back in toward the Stars zone. Stars will rack it around. Schulman again here at the near half wall. Genesis able to keep the zone, throw a deflected puck in. Never reaches the cage, though, and Bizarro threads that puck up and out of the zone. Spinning puck looks like it'll cross the end line, and it eventually does with 14:45 left to go here in the first half. The Stars have iced it. It'll be a defensive zone draw for them. Well, it'll be Fauci, Schaefer, Polisi, Conforti, and Gorloff as the five skaters for the men in navy blue. One there by Genesis. Genesis works that puck down just a bit lower. Schaefer fires in to try and take it off his man. Pass not coming from the far corner. Instead, racked to the end boards. It'll be Gorloff gumming up that play. of Genesis, and Genesis will have to reset in the far corner again. Genesis on the puck there, throws it over to the side of the cage, and Speaker will just grab it with the mitt. And so with 14:26 left to go, we're going to do it all over again at the far circle. Same 5 skaters out there for the Stars. It'll be Fauci on the puck. Puck sits at the dot. Genesis fires it forward. Genesis going around the cage now, looking for something net front. Comes up to the point. Speaker gets up, and that hits a body in the way right in front of the cage. Genesis now will track it down behind the net. It's at the end boards. Genesis with a little bit of time and space, streaking into the slot. It hits a body there too, and it'll be Conforti breaking out through Polisi. Polisi on the headman pass. He has Gorloff going in with him. Tries to saucer one over to him. Hits a body, and the puck's touched farther there by Conforti. Now Genesis at the far half wall tries to break out. They do. They're streaking the other way. It's a one-on-one as Genesis now in on a mini break. Speaker comes out of the cage, but Genesis touches it past him on that breakaway. And so, with 13:48 left to go here in the first half, it's Genesis 2, Stars 1. Well, that breakout play worked for Genesis there, streaking through the neutral zone. And now, after going down early, Genesis with a 2-1 lead in the first half here. It'll be Zimmage on the ensuing faceoff, winning it forward, and Fisher fires in on the forecheck. Genesis goes point to point and then up through the neutral zone. Viscoso will turn to pick up the puck in his own end. Viscoso on the backhand, reverses to himself. Skate to stick, finds McCarthy on a nice pass. McCarthy able to lead Fisher into the neutral zone. Fisher on the puck. McCarthy right down the seam. Fisher will fire in, looking for a shot, rebound, score. Genesis first to the puck, but then the rolling puck's going to come up toward the blue line, kept in by the Stars. McCarthy fires to the far corner. It's McCarthy on the puck now, looking to send that to the net front. Shot hits a body in front, comes into the blue paint, caught between some skates in the low slot. It's flicked up. Coronati does enough to keep the zone and then send that back into the slot. Turning are the Stars to try and get a shot off. Comes up towards Zimmage, has his stick lifted at the last second, and now Genesis tries to fire it out of the zone. Instead, Zimmage able to keep the zone, finds McCarthy. McCarthy in, shoots, puck's loose underneath the pads, and Genesis able to stomp on that and cut out the scoring threat. And so, it's an offensive zone draw for the Stars with 12:57 left to go in the first half. Now it'll be Zimmage at the near dot. Puck comes to a Genesis player and fires it out of the zone, and now it's another mini break for Genesis. Genesis in to the offensive zone. They shoot. Speaker shuts that down. A breakaway save there. As the Stars live to fight another day, it'll be Viscoso picking up the puck, sending it over toward Fisher. Fisher on the puck, shovels it out of the zone. Genesis will have to reset. Fisher gets in the way at first, and then a nice stick lift there by Zimmage. Sees him break into the offensive zone, but without possession. It's McCarthy now, in all alone on the goaltender. He shoots, he scores! Oh, boy. What a change that makes. A breakaway save at one end, a Stars goal at the other end. And with 12:28 left to go here in the first half, it's the Stars 2, Genesis 2. Boy, you really can't turn this one off as these teams are battling back and forth every moment of this game. Ensuing faceoffs going to be Nikolaitis, Schulman, Bizarro as the forwards, Gorloff and Farrow as the defenders. Genesis wins that faceoff, comes up to Schulman though, who gains the line and dumps in just a bit deeper. Genesis will take over at their own blue line. Looks like we've got some music on the broadcast. Thought it was in the arena. In any event, onward we go here. Gorloff on the puck, works it up towards Schulman at the near half wall, and now it'll be Nikolaitis separating his man from the puck. Sticked farther there by Gorloff. Puck comes back to him, and he's going to skate this out of the zone. He crosses the blue line, does Gorloff, looks up, sees some open ice. He's bodied by his man, but not off the puck. He shoots, puck right in front. And the rebound comes all the way across the ice, and Genesis will break out again. Genesis on that breakout play is going to break into the offensive zone once again. Genesis tries to curl. Speaker with the save, pops right back up. Gorloff on the puck. He throws that to the top of the defensive zone. Nikolaitis feathers that up through the neutral zone. Bizarro will take over there. Settles the bouncing puck, turns as the Stars go for a change. Bizarro will skate that out of the zone and then dump farther for Conforti, who's able to send that into the offensive zone and then give chase on the forecheck. Stars complete their forward change now. Fauci in the way of that breakout, keeps the offensive zone. Fauci for Conforti, who gets a little bit handcuffed. Puck rolls there, it's sitting in the blue paint. And then Russo tries to touch it home, but the big mid of the Genesis goaltender able to cover that one up. And so with 11:14 left to play here in the first half, it's an offensive zone draw for the Stars. It's going to be at the near circle. Schaefer and Coronati out there. Fauci to take the drop. Russo to his right, Conforti to his left. Fauci wins it over toward Russo, who controls, sends that just a bit deeper into the zone. Genesis, though, tries the breakout play again, and they're off. Again, it's going to roll all the way in toward Speaker, but he does the right thing, puts the leg pad down and lets it go for an icing. He was tempted to cover that puck up, but instead it crossed the line on the proper side of the goal if you're a Stars fan. So with 11:05 left to go in the first half, it's an icing on Genesis and an offensive zone draw for the Stars. And it'll be Fauci again at the dot. Russo again to his right, Conforti to his left. Puck one toward Russo, chops it up toward Schaefer. Fauci there for support. Puck just sits at the half boards, and it'll be Coronati delaying and then sending that over to the weak side of the ice. It's Conforti in the right place at the right time. Long shot comes in, kicked aside by the Genesis goaltender. Fauci bodies his man after he makes a pass. Genesis first to the puck at the near half wall. They thread that up, and it's a self-pass by Genesis, but Coronati's going to get to it first. Rolling puck, settles it, goes all the way to the end boards. It's thrown to the slot. Fauci there first, though. Great defensive centering by him to get to that puck and then work it up toward Russo, who dumps in. Genesis goaltender will stop that puck at the end line. Russo to it first. He's on the forehand. He's got two men around him. Gets taken down. No arm raised. Onward we play as Genesis again breaks out. Viscoso wise to that play. Sends that puck up into the neutral zone, but Genesis comes right back the other way. Touched farther by Schaefer. Schaefer on the puck momentarily. Comes over toward Conforti, who sends the puck right back out of the zone. And now Genesis will break in again. Stars, a little wires crossed there as they were looking to maybe go for a change. Instead, the puck comes out to the circle, fired in by Genesis. Hits a body in front, comes up to the point, kept in. Genesis with a slapper, goes well high of the cage, and it'll be the Stars looking to break out of their zone. Conforti on the puck, sends it up into the neutral zone. Stars will make a partial change here. Schaefer and Viscoso stay out. Genesis breaks right back in, racks that all the way around the boards off the dasher, and Genesis first to the puck, but some heavy hitting there by Viscoso separates his man, and now it'll be McCarthy firing in at the near half wall, trying to find a streaking Fisher just out of his reach, though, and it'll go for an icing with 9:31 left to go here in the first half. Well, shots on goal, 5-15 in the Stars' favor. That seems to be perhaps a little bit off when it comes to the scorekeeping up here, but in any event, we'll see. That should be an offside. It is 9:27. They're adding the shots on goal typically when the whistle blows or when they have a little bit of time. And I'll take it from someone who's been in that scorer's booth from time to time. It is difficult to keep shots on goal while you're trying to work the clock, the penalties, and the score. And so we'll see how those shots on goal end up at the end of the game. But for now, they indicate that the Stars are driving offensive play. In any event, the puck out of the zone there. EJEPL on a backhand pass to find Fisher. Fisher one-on-one in the zone. At the top of the slot, he shoots in. Sticked aside by the Genesis goaltender. And Zimmage looks to pick up the rebound. Genesis to it first. They reverse on the end boards. McCarthy, though, cuts out that play. Comes to Zimmage. Turns around. Fires. Comes right back to him. He shoots. He scores! Oh, my. Zimmage. Top shelf. You want to talk about the Rockia. It's time now, because he went top shelf on that one. Not an assist this time. It's a goal. And the Stars up 3-2 here in the first half at Hatfield Ice in Colmar, PA. 8:57 left to go in the first half. And the Stars will roll out the Nicolaitis, Shulman, Pizarro line with Coronati and Viscoso as the defenders. Nicolaitis over the dot, wins that faceoff back to Viscoso. Viscoso looks up, surveys his options, sees Shulman there, who taps it farther. Nicolaitis now on the forecheck as Genesis takes over. Genesis throws it through the neutral zone. Coronati there first, uses the boards to work it right back into the neutral zone. Shulman firing on the forecheck. Genesis, though, past the blue line. In the top of the slot, they'll shoot that one wide and pick up the rebound at the end boards. Rolling puck's going to come out toward Nicolaitis. Upended was Coronati. No call there. Very clear textbook interference from this vantage point, but again, this opinion doesn't matter. Only the striped opinion matters as the puck comes up to the near point, and then it's dumped in again by Genesis. It's Viscoso at the end boards. Looks up, again surveys his options, finds Bizarro, receives the pass, sends it over to the weak side of the ice. Schulman takes it out of the air, knocks it down, sends it forward. Nicolaitis into the offensive zone, but without possession. And so Genesis will come right back the other way. Speaker on this puck, gets the leg pad in front, and Genesis tries to push Viscoso into his goaltender. And now Genesis trying to mix it up and draw the Stars into taking a cheap penalty here. Instead, the Stars do the right thing and just skate off. Well, credit to the Stars for keeping their cool after how last game ended. The Stars just here to play hockey right now. It's Nicolaitis winning that faceoff up toward Gorloff. Gorloff able to get the puck out of the zone. Genesis tries to load up again. Bizarro chops that out of the air, and then Schaefer gets in the way of the zone entry, and Bizarro takes a heavy hit into the dasher. That's going to go for a penalty. And so, with 7:45 left to go in the first half, Genesis takes a penalty after a heavy hit on Bizarro right in front of the scorer's booth. It's interference and a 2-minute penalty there. An offensive zone draw coming up for the Stars. Up a goal, now up a man. They'll roll the Nicolaitis, McCarthy, Zimmich, Bizarro, and Schulman. Power play unit number 1 out at the far circle in the offensive zone. Nicolaitis at the dot. Players told to back out of the circle here. Nicolaitis tries to win that forward. Genesis comes away with it. They're into the neutral zone on a shorthanded rush. Is Genesis. Speaker able to make the save on that shot, and now it'll be Schulman picking up the rebound, trying to work it out of the zone. It is feathered out of the zone, but without possession by the Stars. 1:45 left to go on the interference call on Genesis. Genesis will rack that all the way around. It'll go for an easy icing there. With 7:24 left to play here in the first half, it's Genesis with a defensive zone draw upcoming. That'll be Nicolaitis. Zimmich, Schulman, Bizarro, and McCarthy out there to take this draw. McCarthy takes the face-off win by Nicolaitis. It's worked point to point. Bizarro curls in, he shoots. It's gloved down there. McCarthy tries to go for the open net there on the rebound, but it hits a body and goes just wide. Stars looking to get this rebound and keep it in the zone. Instead, Genesis is going to break out past the blue line. No, they don't. Wow, Zimmich with a back check out of nowhere, able to dump that right back in the zone. Genesis goaltender try and keep the puck out of the zone. Instead, McCarthy fires in all alone in front of Zimmich. It's shouldered up into the netting by the Genesis netminder. A wonderful save by the man in green and white in the blue paint. And so the Stars end up with just an offensive zone draw out of that shot. 6:56 left to go here in the first half. 1:12 left to go on the man advantage for the away team. At the far dot, again won by Nicolaitis. Genesis is going to come away with it, though, and chip it farther all the way down. This might go on goal. It does, so Speaker able to stick that aside. He's going to end up with a defensive zone draw there. Well, McCarthy might have wanted him to release it to him in the corner. It looked like he was getting a cover call there, though, from the bench, so he covered it up. And so it's Nicolaitis in the defensive zone at the far dot. It's Bizarro firing forward on the faceoff win and then curling back in his zone to buy some time and ice. He finds McCarthy, who works that puck up toward Nicolaitis. This one's going to go on goal and again be covered up by the Genesis netminder, reminiscent of the play we just saw down in the Stars end. And so an offensive zone draw for the Stars with 52 seconds left to go on the man advantage. It's Nicolaitis at the far dot. Power play 1 stays out there. And Nicholas leans over. Bizarro told to back up. Zimmich told to back up as well. No one ejected from the face-off circle, though. And so it's Bizarro taking that face-off win. Works it up toward Schulman. Schulman finds Bizarro again. Curling is Bizarro. Loading up, shooting, looking for a rebound are the Stars. Genesis able to slap that wide, but not out of the zone. Schulman will rack that off the dasher. Bouncing puck settled by Nicolaitis. Nicolaitis still at the near circle. Still Nicolaitis surveying his options. He'll leave it for McCarthy. Buy himself some ice. It's now Nicolaitis at the near circle. Trying to work that pass through the blue paint. Rolling puck's going to come to the side of the cage, and then the cage will come off its moorings. And so, with 24 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Stars, they'll get power play unit number 2 out there on the ice. 6:08 left to go in the first half. And what's been a thrilling Game 2 against the Genesis Hockey Club here as the New York Stars have come to town in Colmar, PA. It's Fauci at the dot. He's got Polisi to his right, Conforti to his left. One forward by Fauci, but without possession. Coronati will take that zone clearance and zone keep. Comes up to Conforti, who tries to send that point to point. Ice Monster gobbles up the puck, though, and it's sent out of play by Genesis, and so it will be a face-off in the Genesis zone. 12 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Stars. Polisi, Fauci, Conforti stay out there. Coronati and Viscoso, the defenders. Fauci wins that face-off forward. Comes to Polisi, who tries to shovel it in goal, and it's stopped by a stick of the defenseman. That puck's going to be racked all the way out and down across the end line for an icing. Still 3 seconds left on the man advantage here for the Stars. Now it's going to be a far circle face-off for those Stars, as they have a man advantage for 3 more seconds and a 1-goal lead in this second game, first half. It's Fauci winning that face-off forward. Genesis able to get it out of the zone, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here as Viscoso takes Coronati's pass, gains the line, and dumps all the way in. Genesis netminder out of the cage to try and stop that puck. Goes all the way through the zone, though, and now it'll be Viscoso touching up that puck and coming all the way down to his end to try and clear it. He finds Coronati, far side of the ice. Coronati works that puck up toward Conforti. Conforti finds Fauci. Fauci turns with the puck. It hits a shin guard, and Genesis dumps back in. 5:18 left to go here in the first half. It's Viscoso on the puck in the near corner. Eliminates his man from the play. Wow, that puck comes around the side of the cage. Genesis looking. Speaker able to shut down the bang-bang play there. Genesis goes high on the hit. No call coming, though, as the puck rolls toward Fauci. Fauci on the puck. Conforti calling for it. They get it out of the zone, do the Stars. Genesis, though, pouring right back into the offensive zone. They'll get that puck deep as the Stars look to get to it first through Schaefer at the far side of the ice. It's Conforti taking the puck, jamming it off a man, and taking a man out of the play, too. And the Stars try and set up in the near corner now of their defensive zone. Polisi able to thread that up and out of the zone. Looks like it's going to go all the way down, though. It's going to have to be touched by the Genesis netminder. 4:32 left to play here in the first half as Genesis sets up and the Stars get a full change of their forwards out of that dump in. It's McCarthy taking the Schaefer pass. McCarthy into the offensive zone. He's got Zimmage going toward the slot. Tries to saucer one over to him. Genesis there first, though, and they look to come the other way. Gorloff wise to the play after Schaefer did very well with the poke check. Now the Stars try and load up in the neutral zone and dump in. They do, but without possession. Puck's going to roll up toward Schaefer in the neutral zone. It finds Zimmage. Nice little saucer pass up toward McCarthy, but Genesis gets that puck, and now they break in on what could be a 2-on-1 until it was sticked aside by Gorloff, who shoulders his man off the puck, and it rolls up toward Fisher. Fisher on the puck. Looks like a delayed penalty. Speaker will leave the ice for the 6th skater, but it's going to be touched up by Genesis with 3:46 left to play here in the first half. Stars up a goal, about to be up a man, and an offensive zone draw coming for them. No clear gesture there toward the scorer's table, but it is a 2-minute minor on the board, and so the Stars will look toward their special teams once again to try and increase their lead. They win that faceoff. It's Zimmage to McCarthy to Schulman. Pizarro gets that puck. Oh, it comes just to the side of the cage, and it bounced over Nicolaitis' stick. He was in prime position, but that puck had a mind of its own and went toward the end boards. It's Pizarro coming in. Tight angle shot comes up into the air, and it'll be Genesis able to feather that out of the zone, and Schulman will have to turn. He's got a man on him there as he shepherds that puck all the way behind his net, and McCarthy back for support now. McCarthy will pick it up in stride at the near half wall. You see some open ice in front of him. He's in a foot race with the man on him. McCarthy, zone entry, sends that over to the slot. Zimmage loads up, and it's gloved down there by the Genesis goaltender. Rolls to the end boards, and it's Nicolaitis waiting for the puck right at the center of the cage. Pizarro didn't have a passing lane there, and so McCarthy will dump that puck on in. Nicolaitis takes a hit, keeps the puck on his stick, though. Looks up. He's got a tight angle shot. He tries to go near post, and it's gloved out of the air there. Nicolaitis with a nice snapshot with 2:57 left to go, but it's gloved out of the air by the Genesis netminder, and so it'll be an offensive zone draw here for the Stars. Zimmage on the puck at the dot. It's going to be McCarthy to his right, Nicolaitis to his left. He wins that faceoff, does Zimmage. McCarthy up to Schulman, back to McCarthy, into the slot. Oh, the one-timer doesn't connect. That net was open, but it's hard to take that pass when a man draped all over you. So Zimmich will go back toward the end boards, pick up the puck, feather it up to Bizarro. Bizarro sends that puck just a little bit deeper towards Zimmich, and puck's still loose in front, and now it's tapped wide there by Genesis. Schulman will settle that puck down, try and send it farther in the zone. Instead, it's going to be McCarthy racing back. He gets to that puck first. 40 seconds left to go in the man advantage here. Schulman back into the zone, fires in, and it's going to be gloved out of the air there by the Genesis goalie. So 2:22 left to go here in the first half. 36 seconds left to go in the man advantage for the Stars. And it's an offensive zone draw upcoming. Shots 25-7 now in the Stars' favor, which again might not be totally accurate, but does feel like a pretty close approximation of how the last few minutes in this game has gone, as the Stars have spent a lot of it up a man. It's Viscoso now turning as that puck escaped the zone. Viscoso has Coronati back there with him. He's able to jam that over toward Coronati. Coronati will reverse behind his own cage for Viscoso. 22 seconds left to go in the man advantage as Russo now tries to work this puck out of the zone. Instead, it's Genesis keeping the zone, killing off this penalty in the offensive zone. Coronati tries to thread it farther. Bouncing puck, hard to corral, but it will eventually come toward Conforti, who throws it to some open ice. Genesis will slap that back in. It'll go off the end boards, come out front, but Viscoso there first. 1:46 left to go as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Russo blows a tire, able to work it over toward Viscoso, though. An impressive display of hand-eye coordination there as the Stars get that puck out of the zone. Genesis loads back up. It's 5-on-5 hockey again as the puck comes to the near point, and it's just tapped in deeper by Genesis. Coronati to the puck forced at the end boards. Puck rolls, though, to the side of cage, thrown out front. It goes all the way through the blue paint. As Coronati's able to shoulder his man off the puck, find Conforti, and now Russo calling for it at the center of the ice. Conforti gains the line and gains the offensive zone. He shoots it on in. We'll get a quick whistle, though, for offside. Hard to hear the whistle there for the moment. Anyway, 73 seconds left to go here in the first half. And it's going to be a face-off just outside the Genesis zone with Zimmich, McCarthy, and Fisher as the forwards. Farrow and Gorloff as the defenders. Fisher and his counterpart on the Genesis side told to back off at the dot. It's Genesis, though, winning that forward, coming into the offensive zone, trying to go through the skates of Gorloff, who was able to kick that puck aside. Fisher tries to tap it farther. Genesis dumps right back in. Gorloff turns at the end boards on the puck there, reverses that puck over to the far corner. Genesis trying to set something up as we tick under a minute here to go in the first half. Stars have the puck, caught in a few skates, but Zimmich through Fisher, able to get that out of the zone. McCarthy then taps it farther toward Fisher. Fisher tries to dump in, comes back over to McCarthy. McCarthy throws that to Zimmich in the slot, tries to go around his man, but he's taken out of the play, and now Genesis breaks back the other way. Farrow gets his stick in the way momentarily. Genesis will set up long enough for the Stars to get back. Rolling puck at the blue line. Genesis will have to delay. 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. Genesis pushed all the way back to their blue line, chopped out of the air by McCarthy. Oh my. Could play baseball with that kind of hand-eye coordination. It's Gorloff working that up toward McCarthy. McCarthy leaves it for Fisher. Fisher now breaks into the offensive zone. 17 seconds left to go. Tapped off his stick at the last second. And now Genesis with one last rush here as they'll just tap this puck forward and go for a line change. Gorloff will shepherd that puck at the top of the near circle and work it on up toward McCarthy. McCarthy for Zimmich. Zimmich will just tap that in deeper. Icing's going to be waived as there's no time left on the clock. There goes the buzzer for the first half. Stick around. We're going to get crazy. Put 25 minutes on the board. Do it all over again after the ice cut here in Colmar, PA from Hatfield Ice. You're watching this game on Midnight Sports.
Have you ever missed the smell of hockey during the off-season? Well, worry not. Now all your successes, disappointments, obstacles, and achievements can be found in a bottle. C'est l'eau de hockey, parfum for men and women. Our secret parfum formula distills the finest essences of the travel season hockey, including sweat-soaked used hockey tape, 3-day-old practice jerseys found under still damp equipment in a dark bag, and skates that smell so bad it's almost impossible to believe the odor could be caused by a human. Available at all fine purveyors of joke ads. Hockey fans, have you ever missed the smell of hockey during the off-season?
penalty so far as Image gets tripped up. No arm raised, and we play on. Image able to tap that over toward Fisher. Fisher on the puck. He's got a 2-on-1 with Image. He shoots, and it's gloved out of the air there by Genesis netminder. Nicolaitis was waiting at the back post, but it rolls to Pizarro. He gets it caught in the skates a little bit. There's going to be a penalty upcoming here. Looks like it's going to be a hook, and we'll see who does escape the zone. McCarthy out there cutting out that pass. He's got a mini break. McCarthy in, all alone on the goaltender. Goes backhand, and it's a goal. Oh, the captain scores. Tapping that puck toward the blue line. Stick goes flying. We play on, though. That slap shot took the stick out as Image's arm, but Speaker there for the save, and a frozen puck behind his net using the boards. Genesis cuts out the return pass, though, and now has the puck at the end boards. They're going to come around the other way. Our Genesis, they load up in the slot. Speaker gets a glove on it, but it goes in at the far half wall. Tries to break out. They do. They're streaking the other way. It's a one-on-one. As Genesis now in on a mini break. Speaker comes out of the cage, but Genesis ain't got a shot off. Comes up towards Image, has his stick lifted at the last second, and now Genesis tries to fire it out of the zone. Instead, Image able to keep the zone. Finds McCarthy. McCarthy in. Shoots. Puck's loose underneath the pads. It's in the way at first, and then a nice stick lift there by Image. Sees him break into the offensive zone, but without possession, it's McCarthy now in all alone on the goaltender. He shoots. He scores! Oh, boy. What a change on the forecheck. Stars complete their forward change now. Bousey in the way of that breakout. Keeps the offensive zone. Bousey for Conforti. Gets a little bit handcuffed. Puck rolls there, sitting in the blue paint. And then Russo tries to touch it home, but the big Image looks to pick up the rebound. Genesis to it first. They reverse on the end boards. McCarthy, though, cuts out that play. Comes his Image. Turns around. Fires. Comes right back to him. He shoots. He scores! Oh, my. Image. Genesis tries to load up again. Chops that out of the air, and then Schaefer gets in the way of the zone entry. And Pizarro takes a heavy hit into the dasher. That's going to go for a penalty. So he'll leave it for McCarthy. Buy himself some ice. Now Nicolaitis at the near circle, trying to work that pass through the blue paint. Rolling puck's going to come to the side of the cage, and then the cage will come off its moorings. And Zoll's up toward Fisher. Fisher on the puck. Looks like a delayed penalty. Speaker will leave the ice for the sixth skater, but it's going to be touched up by Genesis with 3:46 left to play here in the passing lane there. So McCarthy will dump that puck on in. Nicolaitis takes the hit, keeps the puck on his stick though. Looks up, he's got a tight angle shot. He tries to go near post, and it's gloved out of the air there. course, as we get set here for the second half to kick off, players are getting stretched out there on the ice, 25 minutes on the board. But a reminder, give us a follow on Instagram. That's at midnight_sports, midnight with a K. Go ahead and give us a follow there. All the game announcements will be on there, and you can subscribe on YouTube so you never miss a moment of this New York Stars season, as well as a lot of other youth hockey. Go ahead and poke around. You'll find a lot of youth hockey right there on Midnight Sports. A reminder, too, next weekend, Midnight Sports, subject to carrier restrictions, travels all the way out to Chicago for the CCM World Invite. And that kicks off on Friday at 11:30 Central Time. That's 12:30 back home in New York. 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday, 11:30 Central. We really hope you'll join us for that as Midnight Sports heads on out to the Windy City. But first, we've got 25 more game minutes here from Colmar, PA. Stars have a 3-2 lead in this one against the Genesis Hockey Club in Game 2 of this EJEPL doubleheader. It'll be Fisher, Coronati, McCarthy, Zimmich, and Viscoso out there for the men in navy blue. They'll again be going left to right on your television screen. Goalies checked, scorekeeper checked, and away we go. Zimmich wins that toward McCarthy. Tapped forward, though, by Genesis. Genesis taps it into the offensive zone. Not past Viscoso, though, yet. They load up there at the circle. Viscoso upends his man and takes the puck off him as the Stars will get that out of the zone through Fisher. Fisher on the puck now. Shoots blockered all the way up into the roof to give you a sense of how hard that shot was. It's blockered up and into the roof of Hatfield Ice. And so it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Stars. Same 5 skaters will stay out there. We're just 19 seconds into this second half. Zimmich over the far dot, wins that toward the slot, and then chips it forward. And he fires in after it, leaves it there for Fisher. Fisher shoots, saved nicely by the Genesis goaltender. And Genesis looks to break out of the zone. They get it up to the blue line and then across. But it's the long reach of Coronati, who picks the puck up, takes a hit to send that in on net. Saved again by Genesis. And they get the puck up and out of the zone this time. It's going to go all the way down for an icing. The Genesis bench does not seem to like the icing call there. Shouting from the bench at the officials just 43 seconds into this second half. That'll be something to keep an eye on as they joust with the officials behind the home bench. Ensuing face-off. It's Fauci out there with Russo and Conforti. Puck sent out of the zone. Coronati wise to that breakout play, and he'll track it down in his own end. Coronati on the puck. He's got Schaefer to reverse over toward. And Genesis comes away with it there at the half wall. They load up, top of the circle, in the slot. They shoot. Speaker gets the glove on it and sends it up into the netting. And so with 23:58 left to go here in the second half, the Stars curl in around Speaker just to make sure the Genesis Hockey Club isn't giving him a hard time in the blue paint. It'll be Fauci to take this drop at the far circle. And 40 to his right, protecting the slot. Fauci trying to win this on the backhand. Genesis comes away with it, top of the circle, far point. They work it down to the far half wall. That's Coronati firing after his man. Genesis dumps it in deeper. Schaefer stops, turns, and looks to pick this puck up at the near half wall. He's got Russo ahead of him. Schaefer gains the line, and he'll dump in. Off the skate of the linesman there as Russo tries to track that puck down in the offensive end. Genesis reverses. They'll feather that puck up to the top of the defensive slot and out of the zone. It's going to go all the way down, though, across the line for an icing. 23:31 left to go here in the second half. Offensive zone draw upcoming for the Stars. Well, it'll be Shulman, Nicolaitis, and Bizarro out there for the Stars as the forwards. Farrow and Viscoso as the defenders. Nicolaitis looking to win this on the backhand toward the slot. Instead, he fools everyone, wins it towards Shulman. Puck hops over Viscoso's stick, so he'll track back in the neutral zone. Viscoso on the puck there, guided all the way into his own circle there as the puck hits the side of the cage. And now it'll be Shulman working that up toward the blue line. Not out just yet as the Stars lay some wood at the near half wall. They shoot in all the way across the ice. It'll be Bizarro picking up that puck, though, after it did not hit a Genesis stick. And so Genesis loads back up in the neutral zone and dumps on in. Puck's going to hit the back of the cage as Viscoso goes to pick it up on the backhand. He's got Pizarro at the far half wall. He'll kick it to his stick at the end boards, but Genesis emerges with it at the far circle. Genesis looking to set up a one-timer. Instead, they'll have to dump in, but Nikolaitis, perfect place and perfect timing, able to work that puck up toward Schulman, who will send that fluttering puck into the offensive zone. It's Pizarro now on the forecheck. Genesis works that puck up to the top of the circle. Not out just yet. They've got some time and ice, though, to pass that puck up through the circle. It's McCarthy. Nearly picked that one off. Nikolaitis gets his stick in the way, too, but Genesis will break into the offensive zone, and Viscoso will take over that puck on the forehand. Viscoso tries to work that puck past his man at the near half wall, and now Farrell fires in at the near corner. He's able to gum up the play momentarily. Genesis emerges with it at the end boards without possession, though. Nikolaitis in for support. Works it up toward Pizarro. Pizarro will curl with that puck. Nice breakout play toward Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis looks up, sees McCarthy streaking. That puck's going to roll, and it's sticked aside there by the Genesis goaltender. And it'll be McCarthy, though, dancing around one man, buying time for the Stars to complete their change. Throwing that in, hitting a skate. It rolls up toward Schaefer. Schaefer pinches in, tries to work it farther. Zimmage able to force an early pass, but it's Genesis emerging with a 2-on-1. They're going to break into the zone. Look like they were offside there. It's not a call that's going to be coming, though, and it'll be Gorloff picking up the puck on his backhand. Taps it farther toward Fisher. Genesis pinches in to keep the zone. It's Gorloff now trying to keep that puck from being worked out front. It does come to the top of the slot. Genesis able to work that puck just a bit lower on the backhand. Zimmage shepherds it farther in the slot. Puck still dangerously in the slot. On the backhand is Genesis, throwing it toward the slot. Now curling on the forehand, trying to send something in. Speaker able to glove that down. Stars unable to clear the zone. Genesis now at the circle. They fire that in off a body. Genesis still has it in the slot. Now they're at the near circle. They shoot in. Speaker sticks that up and to the end boards. It'll be Gorloff on the puck now, looking to skate this out of the zone. He does. Taps it out of the defensive zone, and the Stars fight that one off as the puck rolls toward Schaefer. He taps it farther for McCarthy. McCarthy on the puck, looking toward the slot. Sends it off Fisher's stick to the far corner. Fisher now trying to track that puck down in the offensive zone. He does well, and it'll be Zimmage firing in, and that puck's gloved out of the air there by the Genesis goaltender. And so an offensive zone draw upcoming here for the Stars, who were able to get the puck out of their defensive end after they tried and tried again. And so Fauci, Polisi, and Conforti out as the forwards. Face off one forward. Polisi on the forecheck, forces a pass to the far side of the ice. Genesis now on the breakout. Viscoso and Coronati as the defenders. Coronati gums that play up. Genesis breaks in, but way too soon. And we do get an offside call now with 20:43 left to go here in the second half. It's going to be just outside the Stars zone is this faceoff. And Fauci will be there to take it. Conforti to his left, Polisi to his right. Coronati and Viscoso behind. Fauci ties up his man. Puck sits at the dot. Eventually won by Genesis, but all the way back toward their blue line. Genesis now works that up through the neutral zone to the top of the slot. Coronati does well to get in the way as that puck leaves the zone. And Conforti with a great stick lift. That puck crosses the blue line and draws an offside on Genesis. And another face-off coming here for the Stars just outside their zone. Well, nice veteran play there by Conforti to stick lift his man right in front of his own bench. And so Genesis fired into the zone just a little bit too soon. Ensuing faceoff comes to a Genesis player, and now it will be the Stars breaking the other way, trying to corral that puck in the offensive zone. Genesis emerges with it, works it up to the weak side of the ice, and that breakout play at center ice seems to be working well for them right now. They're at the top of the slot as Genesis still dancing into the slot. They're in all alone on Speaker. They go around. Speaker does enough on the leg pad, and then it hits the iron. Big hit, though, in the corner. And so Genesis has some words there. And their bench calling for the players to separate so that only the Stars go to the box here. We'll see what happens. But it looks like it'll be Viscoso to the box for the hit as the Stars survived that one. Speaker got just a touch on that puck and sent it off the iron. And so at 20:05 left to go in the second half, it's the Stars up a goal but down a man. Well, looks like Genesis also to the box. Interesting. It's going to be 5-on-5 hockey is the gesture from the officials. The Genesis bench doesn't like it. Well, let's see. Wait a second here. We have 4 Genesis players on the ice. 5-on-5 was the gesture. We'll see just what gets put up on the board here. And the Genesis bench calling for their player in the near corner here when those events were taking place to separate from Viscoso. A jab was thrown, didn't connect, and so the Genesis bench explaining why they're frustrated about this call, but it's just unclear what the call is going to be. A fifth Genesis skater does come onto the ice. We've got the penalty door open for Genesis, and so the officials, again, trying to explain what's going on. Looks like it might be just a straight 2-minute penalty. No second Genesis player is going to join in the box, and so we'll wait and see what happens here. 5-on-5 hockey, we're ready to roll. No penalties put on the board. 2 players total in the boxes, so it looks like Viscoso and his Genesis counterpart will come out at the first whistle after 2 minutes. Puck worked up from Nikolaitis toward Schulman. Schulman finds Bizarro in the neutral zone. Bizarro settles that puck down, dances toward the slot. Has 2 Genesis men draped on his back, and then takes a hit for his trouble, but Gorloff able to keep the zone. Gorloff works that puck in deeper, sends it all the way to the other side of the ice. Farrow will pinch in and jam that puck deeper again. Genesis tries to pick the puck up, but they're going to touch up here, and there's going to be an elbow call here. And it looks like Genesis, as the Stars power play unit number 1, will come over the boards. And so Genesis to the box here, 19:38 left to go in the second half. Stars up a goal now, up a man. And it'll be McCarthy, Nikolaitis, Zimmich, Pizarro, and Schulman out there at the near offensive circle. Zimmich skates toward the circle. Tells Nikolaitis his plan for this faceoff. Zimmich at the near dot. Leans over, and that puck's won forward by Zimmich. He corrals it, rolls off his stick at the last second as he thought about pulling the trigger, but Pizarro able to keep the zone momentarily, and now it'll be Genesis throwing that out all the way toward Schulman at center ice. Schulman finds Pizarro. Pizarro had left the zone, now comes right back in. Pizarro on the puck. He gets rubbed off the puck there, able to get up in time to protect himself against the boards. Genesis throws that into the slot and then out of the zone. Schulman will track back to pick this puck up. He skates just a little bit slowly, and he does well. A nice veteran play there by Schulman. Buys an icing with 19:10 left to go in the second half. Still 1 minute and 33 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Now it'll be Nikolaitis to take this far side draw. Gary Larson not included. Nikolaitis wins that draw over toward Bizarro. Bizarro to Schulman, back to Bizarro. Bizarro creeps in, shoots, saved nicely there by the Genesis goaltender with a screen in front. Nikolaitis on the puck, behind the net. He's got McCarthy at the near point, surveys his options, sends it up toward Schulman in the slot. Schulman settles that rolling puck. It's loose in front, and the whistle goes, even though the puck seemed loose. Nikolaitis unhappy with the early whistle, but given how chippy this game has gotten here into the second half, the officials now trying to get back on top of the players and the behavior. And so it's going to be a face-off. Nikolaitis stays out to take. Zimmich to his right. McCarthy behind him. Nikolaitis wins that over to Bizarro. Bizarro at the half wall. Use the body to protect the puck. Still Bizarro tries to send that all the way across the ice to a waiting McCarthy. Instead, it's sticked farther, and Schulman tracks back to pick up the puck. Puck rolls into the offensive zone for Genesis, but without possession. So Schulman will delay. Pick that puck up, find Bizarro curling through the neutral zone. Bizarro gains the offensive zone, looks to load up, sends something toward the slot. He finds Nikolaitis there. Nikolaitis shoots and scores! Oh my, Bizarro to Nikolaitis. And the Stars double their lead with 18:28 left to go here in the second half. It's the Stars 4, Genesis 2. Well, ensuing faceoff's going to be Fauci. He's got Russo out there with him, as well as Polisi. It's Gorloff and Farrow as the defenders. Faceoff won for it. Polisi fires forward with that faceoff win, works it over toward Russo. Russo on the backhand will dump on in. Polisi gives chase at the end boards. It's Genesis trying to get that puck out of the zone. They work it to the far half wall, not out just yet. Look to skate it out of the zone. Farrow gets in the way of that breakout, but Genesis keeps pouring the other way. Russo bodies his man, shot comes in. Speaker just kicks that one aside all the way to the near corner. Russo on the puck there. Genesis comes away with it, throws it into the near corner, but Fauci in the way of his man, able to get the puck and skate it all the way out of the zone. Fauci with some good defensive centering once again. Genesis loads up, though. It's a 3-on-2 for Genesis into the offensive zone. They leave it there at the top of the circle. They fire in. Speaker gobbles that one up. No rebound coming. 17:47 left to go here in the second half. And it's going to be a defensive zone draw for the Stars. Well, the Stars will roll some new skaters out there, trying to keep these shifts short late afternoon here in Colmar, PA. And it'll be Zimmage at the far dot. Coronati and his counterpart told to back up. Zimmage now wins that faceoff forward, but Genesis controls, hits a skate on the initial shot. They load up, hits a body in front. McCarthy's going to be first to it and throw it out of the zone. Fisher tries a stick lift to separate his man from the puck. Genesis will dump right back in. It's Schaefer now turning and firing to pick up that puck. He's on the forehand, works it up toward McCarthy. McCarthy tracks that puck down. McCarthy gains the line. He dumps in. Genesis goaltender will settle that puck, but Zimmage to it first. Zimmage on the puck, throws it right into the slot. Oh, the Stars couldn't get purchase of wood on that one. Otherwise, it would have been in the back of the net. McCarthy's able to dump that in deeper, works it over towards Zimmage. Zimmage on the puck, dances around his man. Now he looks for a teammate for support. He finds Coronati. Coronati with a long shot in. It's deflected just wide. Now the puck racked around. Coronati will track that puck down in the neutral zone and consider going point to point for Schaefer. He does. Makes the Genesis forward bite in and frees up some open ice as McCarthy will dump into the offensive zone, allowing Zimmage to go for a change. Stars have the puck in the offensive zone, and now it'll be Genesis breaking out the other way, but only towards center ice. Comes to Coronati, who tries to leave for Schaefer. Schaefer's going to have to turn as Genesis pours into the offensive zone. It's Genesis trying to get around and throw something in on net. Comes into Speaker. He's able to just glove that out of the air. And so, with 16:36 left to go here in the second half, it's a defensive zone draw for the Stars. Gives them a chance to get their lines right. It'll be Nikolaitis. He's got Gorloff behind him. Schulman to his left, as well as Bizarro and Farrow. Nikolaitis wins that harmlessly over to the near half wall. It's racked around there by Farrow. Bizarro tries to touch it farther. Genesis now pinching in just a bit more to try and get right back on the board. It comes up to the top of the circle. Speaker able to stick that up into the face mask and make a save. It's Gorloff using the glass, hits a stanchion, takes a sideways bounce, and the Stars have cleared the zone. Genesis sends it right back through the neutral zone. Gorloff in the way, sends it right back the other way, and now the puck right in front of the camera well will come up toward Bizarro, but Genesis comes away with it. They're across the blue line is Genesis. They try and load up there and try a tight angle shot to get around Farrow, who does very well watching his man go wide. It's Nikolaitis in the far corner. Bouncing puck comes toward Bizarro. Bizarro curls, feathers that up in the air, tapped farther, but not out just yet. Bizarro back on the puck. Bizarro there, sends a saucer pass up toward Nikolaitis, just out of his reach. Genesis will track back. Nikolaitis heavy on the forecheck there, able to try and force his man into an early pass. He does. Bizarro not wanting the offside, taps that puck along the blue line. Genesis comes away with it into the offensive zone. Bizarro upended there, off the puck. Looks like it'll be Bizarro going to the box here as the Stars touch up. So it looked like the players were shoulder to shoulder on that one. Bizarro ends up on the ice and now over toward the penalty box. And so with 15:31 left to play here in the second half, it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Genesis. Down 2 goals, but up a man for the next 2 minutes. Now it'll be Coronati and Schaefer as the defensive pair. McCarthy and Zimmage as the forwards to try and kill off this penalty. Zimmage at the dot, at the far side of the ice. Looking to win this over toward the half wall. It's won by Genesis up to the far point. They look to load up. They send it to the top of the slot. Tapped farther to the bumper there, and it's still in the slot. Comes just past the Genesis player as Zimmage looks to pick it up at the end boards. Genesis in control again. They curl in the far circle, trying to get on the forehand. Genesis working hard to get that puck off the end boards and out front. Comes all the way over to the far side of the ice. Now the near side of the ice. Shot comes in. No deflection coming. It hits a body in front. Still in the slot. Puck rolls there. It's kicked farther. Comes up to a Genesis player. Shot comes in. Hits a body in front. Ensuing shot goes wide of the cage. Genesis trying to get this into the back of the net. Instead, it'll be Johnny McCarthy taking this puck through neutral ice, killing more of this penalty. Hits a shin guard on the dump in. It rolls to him. He tries to go around the goaltender to score a shorty. Instead, he'll just hold that puck at the end boards. He bodies it there. He takes a heavy hit on the puck. Finally separated from it. 1:09 left to go on the man advantage for Genesis as they storm back into the offensive zone. Genesis looking for a slot pass now. They're ridden, though, all the way to the boards by Coronati, who is able, through McCarthy to work that puck right back into the offensive zone. McCarthy shot out of a cannon, settles that rolling puck, goes just wide of the cage. It's going to go all the way in front of the Genesis bench is that puck, and they'll feather it up farther. It's a 2-on-2 now for Genesis. Some end-to-end action on this penalty kill. Shot comes in, goes wide of the cage. Schaefer looks to pick it up at the half wall. He takes a heavy hit there. He's able to gum up the puck, though. It comes to a Genesis player in the near corner. Genesis on the puck there. They send it up to the near point. They load up. A big screen in front, but Speaker able to see that puck through the bodies and cover up with 14 minutes even left to go in this one. Still 30 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Genesis Hockey Club. Well, with Tom Sawyer on the loudspeaker, it was a big rush there for Genesis, but they're going to have to settle for an offensive zone draw. It'll be Russo at the near dot, winning that faceoff forward, not out of the zone. Genesis loads up again at the near point, dumps it down to the near half wall, thrown in toward the slot. Nicolaitis, though, there. He's done an excellent job as defensive center out there in his own zone in the slot. It'll be Russo and Nicolaitis watching their men in the neutral zone. Gorloff tracks back for that puck. Leaves it there for Russo. Puck bounces off a stanchion, though, and Genesis looks to get that in the slot. Instead, though, it's tapped farther by Farrow. Farrow worked that puck out of the zone. Genesis is going to come right back in. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Puck goes wide of the cage on that shot after Speaker had punched at it. Now it'll be Farrow tracking back to the end boards in his own zone. Stars want to get this puck out of the zone and perhaps, get their lines right. Puck comes up toward Polisi. And now it's Nicolaitis using the body to separate his man from the puck. Genesis, though, keeps the zone. Gorloff getting back down there at the end boards, racking it around to the near half wall, not out. Russo stick lifts his man, and now it's Gorloff working that up past the blue line, and Genesis will have to reset in the neutral zone. That's exactly what they do, and they'll dump in as that puck goes wide of the cage, and it's Farrow trying to send that puck on a reverse out. Good stick work by Gorloff. It comes into the blue paint, and it's kicked farther. Shot comes in. Speaker gets the ensuing shot, though, right there in the blue paint. 12:43 left to go here in the second half. And that was a bang-bang play. Shut down, though, by the Stars, who can, with this stoppage in play, get their lines right. It'll be Zimmich at the far dot. He's got Fisher out there with him. Schaefer behind, as well as McCarthy. And so Coronati completes the 5 skaters out there. It's Schaefer battling with his man at the end boards. Genesis trying to fire that out front. They throw it into the slot. Can't quite get the stick on it. And so it'll be Zimmich on the backhand. That puck's touched by a high stick. If Genesis touches this, it'll be a face-off. It'll go for an icing, but it was played by a high stick. Interesting. I'm not sure what the call here is, as that puck was played by a high stick. But it's going to go for an icing. Well, that's just a missed call there by the officials, as one had gestured high stick and the other blew the whistle for icing. Interesting that that's not going to come out to center ice as an oopsie-doozy. In any event, ensuing faceoff won by Genesis, back up to the point, but out of the zone. So all's well that ends well if you're a Stars fan, as Fisher able to dump that puck on in. Just sticked farther there by the Genesis netminder behind his own net. Zimmich tries to come up the breakout. He does. Schaefer pinches in, works it to Zimmich. Zimmich works that puck deeper for McCarthy. McCarthy surveys his options behind the net. He's on the forehand, looking net front. A lot of bodies there as McCarthy has the puck and a little bit of time and space, so he'll just curl with it, dump it back down just a bit deeper. Rolls off a Star stick, comes back to McCarthy. McCarthy on the puck again, throws it out front. It's saved nicely there. Zimmich on the follow-up, saved again. Ensuing shot hits the side of the net and then goes wide, and so Genesis is going to break this puck out of the zone. They slap it farther. That rolling puck's not going to hit the end line. The Stars will need to get back here. Oh, it just touched the end line. No whistle, though, as Coronati able to hit his man. Puck rolls all the way up towards Zimmich. Zimmich goes skate to stick. Tries to get that puck out of the zone. On the second try, he does. Puck comes to Coronati. Coronati delays in front of his bench, sends it to the other side of the ice, so the Stars don't pick up a too many men on the ice penalty as they're changing. 11:20 left to go in this game. Genesis controls at their own blue line. Puck comes up to Polisi, and he gets a stick in the way. Well done by him, as Conforti now taps that puck farther into the offensive zone. It's Fauci on the forecheck. Fauci goes behind the net, and it'll be Polisi getting in the way of his man. It's a double hit by the Stars there. Genesis throws that to the weak side of the ice. It's a race. Farrow there first, able to tap that in, and it goes for an offside. Interesting, with 11:02 left in this second half. Stars offside, and that faceoff's going to come just outside the Genesis zone. Now shots 31-18 now in the Stars' favor. And it'll be Fauci to take this draw. He wins that forward. Conforti takes over. Conforti into the offensive zone. On the forehand, thinks about a shot, then looks up into the slot for Polisi. Throws that across, hits the side of the cage, and goes behind. It's Fauci tucking that farther in, looking for Polisi, where the Stars. Gorloff tries to keep the zone. Puck rolls on him as he was only able to use the backhand there. Farrow feathers that up into the neutral zone. Tracking back was Fauci to pick that up. Polisi taps it farther. Genesis again takes over as we're to 10:34 left to go in this game. Genesis able to dump that puck in just a bit deeper. Gorloff on it in the near corner. He threads that behind his net. Polisi waiting for it at the far side of the ice. Genesis blows a tire there. Ensuing pass doesn't leave the zone just yet as the Genesis man was down in front of the puck clearance. Now the puck on a Genesis stick in the far corner at the end boards. Puck just sits at the back of the net, comes up to the far point, loading up as Genesis. Shot comes in, hits a body, goes wide. It's Farrow now looking to pick that puck up and get it out of the zone. Tapped farther by Polisi, not out of the zone. Genesis gets it deep down toward Gorloff. Gorloff controls behind his own net, and he works that over toward Polisi. Polisi tries to tap that farther. Genesis dumps it right back in again. It's Gorloff as the Stars getting hemmed in just a bit here in the second half. And that puck's going to come into the blue paint. It's sticked farther there by Farrow, who then uses his skate to block the ensuing shot, and Farrow's going to do it himself. Skate this puck all the way out of the zone and dump it in deep. Icing wave there. 9:37 to go as the Stars with the fire wagon change get 5 new skaters out there. Puck comes up towards Shulman. Pizarro taps it farther, and now on the forecheck forces a pass that Shulman intercepts. Shulman will dump that puck in and go in on the forecheck right in front of the Zamboni door. Shulman there on the puck. A Genesis man or two on him as Pizarro now fires in on the forecheck. Puck rolls to the near half wall and out of the zone. Genesis is going to come the other way. It's a 3-on-1 for Genesis into the offensive zone. Genesis there trying to send that puck into Speaker's leg pads. Some heavy hitting in the blue paint there as Schaefer takes care of his netminder after that puck had gone into the pads of Speaker, who's doing his best to pick that puck up for the official. And so, with 9:07 left to go here in the second half, it's a defensive zone draw for the Stars. Now his faceoff's going to come to Speaker's right. Genesis wins it. They dance into the zone. They try a tight angle shot. Ice Monster gobbles it up, though, and Nicolaitis comes away with that puck. He sends it weak side of the ice over toward Pizarro. Pizarro settles that on the backhand, gains the forehand, and dumps in. Stars playing a dump and chase game right now, given the time and position of this game. But Genesis is going to come right back the other way. Coronati back as the defender. He works his man wide. His man curls, throws it into the slot. Schaefer did well to tie up the stick of the shooter, and so Genesis will have to collect it in the offensive zone. Instead, it comes to Shulman, and it's going to roll over to Pizarro. It's a 2-on-0. Pizarro with Shulman. Sends it over to Shulman, and back to Pizarro, and a wonderful save by the Genesis goaltender. Keeps this a 2-goal hockey game. It's now Nicolaitis bodied off the puck there. And he'll try to get the puck back. Instead, though, Genesis is going to break out on a big pass as they're going to pour into the zone now. Curl toward the slot is Genesis. They leave it there and throw one over to the far side of the cage. It's the Stars working to get this puck out. Stars don't want this to turn into a track meet with 8:05 left to go in this second half. Shulman will throw that on net, and Genesis will take over in their own zone. Pizarro stayed out. He gets tied up. That's got to be an interference call. It will be. Speaker looks to leave the ice as McCarthy has control of the puck. Genesis will eventually touch up, though, at their own blue line, and it is an interference call as Pizarro ended up doing the twist with his man in the near circle of the offensive zone. So with 7:50 left to go here in the second half, it's the Stars up a man for the next 2 minutes on the interference call against Genesis. Now it's going to be at the near circle, this face-off. It'll be Shulman, Simic, Nicolaitis, Pizarro, and McCarthy out there for the Stars. Simic wins that forward to the near corner, and the puck just hops on a deflection up into the netting. We'll do it all over again from that same circle with 1:57 left to go on the man advantage. Well, looks like they're going to say it came off a Stars stick. Interesting call. No air quotes around interesting, just surprising. And so it'll be Simic at the dot right here in front of the camera well. He wins that on the backhand. Genesis looks to kick it forward, but McCarthy in for support. jams it farther, and now it'll roll all the way back to Schulman at his own blue line. Schulman on the puck there. A lot of open ice toward Bizarro. He finds Bizarro. Bizarro looks to go right back around, but Nicolaitis bounces the puck into the offensive zone, and so tries to pick it up there. Puck rolls up toward McCarthy, uses the big body, and works that over towards Zimmich. Zimmich kicks that puck farther in the offensive zone. Bizarro with the zone keep momentarily, but now it's Genesis coming the other way in a 2-on-1. McCarthy gets back. Genesis shoots in. Speaker shuts it down on the shot. Good defensive work by the Stars to leave Speaker with the shooter only. It'll be Zimmich now on the puck. He gains center ice, does Zimmich. Puck rolls on him. He'll have to track back into the neutral zone. He does, and then dumps that puck in. It'll be Nicolaitis on the forecheck as the Stars look to set up and not get burned on any shorty. That puck bounces off a stanchion at the near half wall, and it comes all the way out to center ice. Schulman will track back. 1 minute left to go on the man advantage. 6:47 left to go in this second half. Schulman enters the zone, and he fires that on net. It's sticked aside by the Genesis netminder, and then right back out of the zone by Genesis. So Schulman will pick it right back up at the top of his defensive slot. It's now Schulman working that puck over toward Nicolaitis. Nicolaitis through the legs of the Genesis man finds Bizarro. Stars thinking about a partial change. Bizarro goes up to the top corner of the net, just over. Nicolaitis first to the puck to keep the puck in the zone at the far half wall. Now 2 Stars men in on it. It is rubbed out of the zone by Genesis, and so Coronati will go point to point and find McCarthy right at center ice, who gains the line, dumps in. 21 seconds left to go in the man advantage. 6:07 left to go in this game as Genesis works that puck out of the defensive zone once again. Stars still up a man for another 10 ticks. Viscoso will take over that puck, find Coronati going point to point. Puck all the way up toward Fauci, who breaks into the offensive zone all alone. He's got a streaking Conforti, throws it on net, looking for a shot off the leg pads of the Genesis goaltender, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Coronati will shepherd that puck all the way over to Viscoso. Good play by him to find some open ice. Viscoso hits Russo's stick, who dumps in. It's now Conforti keeping the zone there. No breakout for Genesis as he dumps that puck in. Stars happy to tick off the seconds in the offensive zone here as Conforti again gets in the way of the breakout. Genesis will eventually get past the blue line. Russo upended there, no call. Genesis into the offensive zone. Viscoso stands up his man, and the puck rolls to the end boards, now thrown out to the slot. Fauci with some good stick work throws it to the corner. Bouncing puck finds Viscoso behind his own net. He reverses for Coronati. Coronati on the puck, sends it right back toward Viscoso. Viscoso on the forehand, throws that up off the glass into the netting. It's going to be a face-off here for the Stars with 5:06 left to go in the second half. Well, the Stars will get a line change out of that. It'll be Fisher, Zimmich, Gorloff, Schaefer, McCarthy. Excuse me, that was McCarthy, as I had a hiccup while saying it. So McCarthy out there in the slot, and it'll be Zimmich winning that faceoff back to the bottom of the circle. And Genesis trying to fire on that puck. Instead, Schaefer to it first at the far half wall. It gets gummed up there. Fisher in for support. Now Zimmich curls too. Eliminates his man. Gorloff will fire in, tap that puck back to the corner. Genesis looking to throw something out front. They've got it on the near side of the ice. No tight angle shot for them as Schaefer works his man wide. Comes around to the other side of the net. 4:42 left to go in this game as it comes up to the far point, but out of the zone. It hopped over a Genesis stick, and now Fisher in on the forecheck. Fisher all over his man. McCarthy curls in too, but Genesis able to break out, and now into the offensive zone comes Genesis. Schaefer pushes his man wide, gets his stick down, and Speaker does the rest by sticking that aside. Genesis, though, still with the puck, top of the circle. Genesis curling in the slot, making a change behind the play is Genesis. Zimmich now goes after his man in the far corner. Comes out front, hits a skate, goes wide. Stars need to clear the zone here. Genesis, though, working hard to keep it in the zone. Gorloff able to get it past the blue line. McCarthy's got a 2-on-1 with Fisher. It's McCarthy for Fisher. Fisher taps that puck farther. Bouncing puck goes to the side of the cage. McCarthy jams it all the way to the end boards, and Genesis will break out the other way. Stars are back. They've got Nicolaitis back for support, and Genesis will have to dump in and make a change. Puck comes all the way toward Gorloff. Schaefer racks that around to the far point. Not out of the zone, though, as Genesis loads up, and Speaker able to just catch that in the glove, so the Stars can make their complete change with 3:41 left to go here in the second half. It's a defensive zone draw upcoming for the Stars. Now it'll be Coronati. He's got Nicolaitis, Bizarro, Viscoso, and Schulman out there with him. Nicolaitis to take this draw at the far side of the ice. Nicolaitis wins that faceoff, leaves it at the circle or the dot, momentarily, and then it's racked around for Viscoso to pick up, work off the boards, and out of the zone. Now Schulman gets on his horse, jams that into the offensive zone. Genesis might be first to this puck as it rolls to the end boards, but Schulman doing a yo-man's job down there to try and keep this puck in the offensive zone. Genesis is going to break the other way. Stars having their defenseman back off now with 3:15 left to go in this game, trying not to get burned on a break the other way. Puck comes up to Coronati. Nice backhand by him. Up to Bizarro. Chips that puck up and out of the zone. And it'll be Genesis having to reload. They do at the offensive blue line. Genesis comes in. Coronati long stick and then blocks that shot and flicks the puck up and out of the zone again. 2:56 left to go in this game as Genesis picks it up at the near circle. It's Schulman forcing his man into a pass. Nikolaitis able to take the puck off his man and break into the offensive zone. Nikolaitis loads up, tries the top far corner. And it'll be Bizarro picking up that rebound at the far side of the ice. Bizarro fires one in. It's gloved down by the Genesis goaltender. And now the puck leaves the zone. And it's a 2-on-2. Maybe a partial break in as that puck rolls just wide of the cage. Oh my gosh, it hit a Stars skate. Ended up going just wide of the cage. And Bizarro does the right thing here as he just sends that puck all the way down so the Stars can collect themselves with straight twos across the board. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left to go here in the second half as the Stars have a defensive zone draw upcoming. Now it's a game of inches, and a couple inches worked in the Stars' favor there as that puck hit a skate right in front of the goal mouth and ended up ticking just wide. Ensuing faceoff, won by Genesis up to the far point. Genesis fires in, it hits a body, and it'll come to Conforti at the near circle. Puck jammed off the boards there as he's able to get the puck up and out of the zone toward Russo. Does well to send the puck into the offensive zone. It's Polisi all over his man in the near corner as Genesis fires that all the way around. Farrow able to pinch in and keep the puck there. He finds Russo, top of the slot. Bouncing puck settled by Russo, tries to leave it there for Conforti. It leaves the zone. Conforti shepherds it all the way to Gorloff, and then it comes back up to Conforti, who taps it farther. It's Genesis trying to break back into the zone, but not past the stick of Andrew Conforti, who sends that puck all the way through neutral ice. It's going to go for an icing, though, here. We'll keep our eye on the Genesis goaltender as it's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Stars, up 2 goals. We'll see what Genesis does, whether they're going to pull the goalie here and try and get a quick one. But for now, the Genesis goaltender staying in the net. Shots 35-21 in the Stars' favor. It's Zimmage at the near dot, and it's a timeout instead by Genesis, it looks like, once they saw the team line up. So it gives us time to show you the lineup for Chicago next weekend. Again, subject to carrier restrictions. The Stars take on the Tacoma Rockets at 11:30 a.m. Central. All times on your screen are Central. So if you're back home watching from New York, well, there's been a bit of a disagreement with the booth and the production truck as to whether these times are Central or Eastern. So all the more reason to subscribe to YouTube notifications to know when we go live and give us a follow on Instagram. I'm not saying we're purposely being difficult as to when these games start, but it is a nice benefit right here for Midnight Sports. Costs you nothing, and you get the latest information on when the New York Stars will be playing. So the Stars head to Chicago to take on the Rockets, the San Diego Saints, as well as the Sylvania Stars. It looks like the times might be Central Time, but I'm never one to say I told you so, unless no one's listening. And because we know you're out there listening, I won't say it. In any event, give us a follow. Come on. It doesn't cost you anything. At Midnight Sports You know who has given us a follow? Leagues of grandmothers out there. That's just embarrassing if you're not a grandmother and you haven't given us a follow. The older generation leading the way. All right, jokes are over. We're back to it. 99 seconds left to go in this one. Genesis timeout over. Their net does appear to be empty now. An empty net for Genesis as they've got 6 skaters on the ice. 99 seconds for them. Stars have a 2-goal lead. It'll be Zimmage, McCarthy, Nikolaitis, Coronati, and Fisher out there. Well, instead of Nicolaitis, it is Viscoso. An alternate captain letter fooled us. Anyway, shot comes in, goes wide all the way to the far side of the ice. Genesis throws that one wide of the cage too. It's going to be racked all the way out of the zone, and now it's McCarthy watching that puck into the offensive zone. Fisher in on the forecheck, tries to get his stick in the way. Genesis able to throw that up into the neutral zone. Shot comes in, goes wide of the cage off McCarthy's stick. Genesis will track back with 70 seconds left to go in this one. It'll be Viscoso with a little time and space in his own end. He'll go point to point there, settled down by Coronati. Fired not out of the zone just yet. Rolls toward Viscoso. Comes into the slot. Genesis tracks it down. They're in the offensive zone is Genesis. All the way into the near corner now. Viscoso on the puck there. Threads it to the end wall. But Genesis takes over once again. Genesis looking to fire that up into the slot. Zimmage in the way though. He's able to dance past his man. He looks up ice. He's going to try it. He sends it all the way down. It'll be iced with 44.9 seconds left to go. He gets a little head shake from the bench. As always with the empty net, everybody loves you if you hit it, and everybody's got a comment if you miss and it goes for an icing. Well, it'll be Zimmage at the dot, and when he comes around, he looks to score it in the back of the net. Genesis wins that faceoff. They fire in over the cage and then try and throw something into the slot. Stars need to stay frosty here as a shot goes off. A shin guard is Zimmage, and Genesis still has the puck in the near corner. 33 seconds left to go. It's chopped farther by McCarthy out of the zone. Genesis will have to reset, get all 6 skaters outside the zone. They do. They pour right back into the zone. Does Genesis, but Viscoso gets in the way and sends that puck up toward Fisher, who sends the puck out of the zone. 19 seconds left to go, and Genesis breaks right back in. Genesis at the top of the circle. On the backhand, they'll stop, they'll curl, they send it into the slot. It finds a Stars stick though. It's McCarthy after Coronati got in the way, and then Speaker shrugs off the ensuing shot. 5 seconds left to play in this one as Genesis racks it in deep. It'll be Viscoso on the puck, sending it up and out of the zone, and so that is it. We've gone final here at Hatfield Ice in Colmar, PA. It's the New York Stars 4. The Genesis Hockey Club 2. Thank you so much for joining us. See us again on Friday in Chicago right here on Midnight Sports. Until then, stay safe.